Hey everybody, it's your girl Pjamma with PjammaLyfe. And today we're very excited. We're going to do two things today. We're going to talk about after 30 long years, the wait is over. And we're going to talk about coming to America with Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall and back to Zamunda. And then we're going to talk about Captain America Saga to help us get ready for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's coming out next week, and then we'll each week talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier as part of our review. So I'm Pjamma, and let's have the fellas introduce themselves. See, like we got a new person there, Obi-Wan Stark.
Well, you might as well jazz it up, I figured. I've been Patrick long enough. I want to be who I always wanted to be. I want to be Obi-Wan, and I want to be a Stark. Not necessarily the Winterfell Starks, but the lives in a rich place with an iron suit Stark. That's Stark. So, yeah, I want to clarify. There's a lot of Starks and a lot of fandoms out there. You got to be careful.
You never know who Tony was sliding into DMs with, so.
He's pretty smooth, Just saying.
And our professor of all things Star Wars, David. Say hello to the people.
Hello, everybody. Hakuna Matata. It's great to have you all here and looking forward to our discussion this lovely Saturday night.
Yeah, and just so people are aware of my shirt, that's who I'm rocking. So, but let's talk about our big reveal movie that's come out. And believe me, I had to hide from Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to not know anything about Coming to America. Why don't we show a clip of the movie?
American cinema is the best.
The best? What do we have besides superhero shit, remakes, and sequels to old movies nobody asked for?
My funeral should be spectacular.
I came here for blood. We're not the murder kind.
I seen it in a vision. You got a son.
Oh my God, please. My father was Mr. Duke, and my grandfather and great uncle who founded Duke and Duke. But please, just call me Calvin.
All right.
We got the moves. Hey. We got the moves.
Good morning, Zamunda!
I know this isn't exactly the wedding you've always imagined.
I don't know why you would apologize. I'd always imagined there'd be a womanizing sexist officiant leading a very strange ceremony in black socks.
What is this, velvet?
Oh my goodness, that was just a little bit of the movie, which is about Prince Akeem. It becomes King Akeem, and he learns that he actually has a son in America who he needs to take over Zamunda because General Izzy from Nextdoria is threatening to cause a war if he doesn't either join the family by marriage. And so then Akeem has to go to America again, retrieve his son, and then hijinks ensue. So that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. But why don't we talk about what we liked, what we thought of it, and maybe what we didn't care for, and if there's anything, and share our feelings about Coming to America. Let's start with David.
Well, this was a very fun movie. I have a deeper appreciation for how good the original Coming to America was, because it did bring back a lot of great things from that movie. Some of you out there, this movie's 30 years old. If you haven't seen it, you got to see the original. So please check that out.
Yes.
I thought this was a nice, fun kind of film for the pandemic. I don't know, and I used to work for the movie theater, so I didn't have to spend a lot of money at the theaters. I can't say I would have been really happy to spend $12 to see it, but it was an afternoon that was enjoyable. Definitely would have no problem on getting on that midnight plane to Zamunda, as was said. So it was great. It was fun. It was good to see Eddie Murphy in an actual human role versus just as some of his wonderful voice work. So it was a nice free movie if you're going to be paying for Amazon. Tremendous cast, well worth time on a Friday night or a Saturday matinee.
How about you, Pat?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, there's some super performances, and you want to talk about a who's who of everybody. I mean, they brought everybody. I mean, they had the old people, the old actors. They had, James Earl Jones, Mufasa, and the voice of Vader, and they had, they had everybody down. And old artists. I mean, old musicians. They had Gladys Knight on there singing. Yeah. I mean, they had everybody, and they brought everybody back. It had a bit of a redo. I mean, he wasn't stretching any intellectual boundaries to make this movie. And if you like the first one, you're gonna love this one too, because it was pretty much the same movie, But I liked the first one, so this was good too,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so I did like it. So let me preface my comments by saying I did enjoy it. There were several funny lines that were in the movie, like when he went to the barber shop and they called him Idiot Amin. And it was just some things that you could quote again that were super funny. I thought that they brought back, I don't know how they found Peaches and Sugar Cube.
Yeah, I know, right?
And if you looked at it, there were callbacks to some of his other movies with Colin Jost playing the grandson and great nephew of the Dukes from Coming to America, and a brief cameo here. They had it was another one too. I can't think of the anywho, it'll come to me. But it was a lot of callbacks to the original, and then new characters like Leslie Jones was really great. As Lavelle's mom. Lavelle is revealed to be King of King's son, and yeah, and
he was the best.
Jermaine Fowler was Lavelle. He was really good. And Kiki Lane, who is, you guys know, from The Old Guard, and she's been really good. If Bill Street could talk, she's been, hit after hit and doing great after great after great. And one thing about this movie, the Ruth E. Carter, once again, who did Black Panther, who did probably the original Coming to America, she knocked the costumes out the park. And
cool stuff.
What was cute, I thought, too, was that if you looked at Mika, Kiki Lane's character, all of her clothes had a little lion on it. She was wearing Puma, but it was kind of like a callback to the lion, which is the sigle of Zamunda. So I thought that was pretty cute. And there were some things that I thought they could have modernized the story, because I really didn't care for Lisa's character. I mean, Sherry Headley. If anybody, that chick looks more beautiful than she did when she was in the original movie. I mean, she's just luminous, just beautiful. But I really didn't like how they did her character because her character was static and showed no growth. And I would have thought, as an American coming to that country, she would have tried to do something about the plight of women in Zamunda. She ain't do nothing but look pretty for 30 years. And I was kind of like, huh? She didn't do nothing? We're not going to say she did anything? And having General Izzy's sister was the princess that Akeem was originally supposed to marry, and she was still hopping around barking, and I didn't like that. And I also thought there were some missed opportunities to kind of modernize the tale, where I was surprised. I kind of wanted to see Maury Povich come on and do a DNA test kind of thing. I thought that might have been funny, and also just the daughter of General Izzy, that they didn't change her too, and so I would have liked to see her then maybe be the villain, and tell the prince that that you're not gonna do me like you did my auntie. You're gonna marry me, or something like that. That would have given a new modern take on women and the plight of women around the world. I think in International Women's Month and the National Women's Month, I don't know. I didn't like that. But because there were so many callbacks to the original movie, because I was fussing, kind of the first time I saw it, until the final singer came out. I mean, should I say who came out?
Oh, you might as well.
Well, what's his name? Randy, what's his name? Randy Watson, Sexual Chocolate. Made an appearance back and sang a song again. And it was so funny that alone saved the movie for me, because otherwise some of the things that maybe were a little problematic to me, like how Leslie and Akeem got together, I was like, that's a little problematic today.
Seemed like there might have been for International Women's Month, it looked like the women got ahead on that one. It was a little non-consensual thing going on there. I'm just saying. My wife pointed that out right away, and I was like,
I don't know about that. But I mean, they had to do some mental gymnastics to try and explain how he would have a son when you only saw him with Lisa last time. So at that part, I was kind of like, okay, it's okay. Because there was also a call out to Dolomite. If you caught that, it's at the very end. The joke that's told at the end is a joke he told in Dolomite. So another character tells at the very end of the movie. So you got to stay till the whole thing to catch that. But the barbershop, I laughed at that whole scene the whole time. Every time those characters, the preacher in his black socks still being a super weirdo. But it was a lot of fun. You can't take it. I was taking it too seriously. I'll admit. I was, and then I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? Just enjoy it for what it is. It's a nostalgic movie with people coming back who, I mean, they pretty much brought the whole cast back to the show.
Yeah.
So it really really had some fond memories, and I did find myself laughing throughout. Even as I cringed a couple of times, I really did laugh a lot. And what else do we need right now? We can't expect every movie to be everything for everybody. So, like you said, Pat, last week, they don't owe me anything. So it felt,
Yeah,
you know, a good time. And I had a good time watching it. It's something that, you know, if you're having a down day and you know, need something to make you laugh, or your whole family can watch this movie because it is, I don't even know why. I don't even know if it's PG. I mean, when I heard Eddie Murphy say M. Effing King, I was like, what happened to
That is kind of funny considering the Raw album and
Raw
the record number. I mean, Harlem Nights.
48 hours.
Well, you know.
Now
that Bill Cosby ain't America's dad anymore, you know.
Oh
Eddie
my
Murphy.
gosh. It was like, okay, I guess he's pop now. You know.
There you go. Yep.
But you know, I'm glad to see him come back. I mean, he didn't have to come back. It's a risk for him to come back because if something's bad, he's used up all his currency that he has, you know, for his legacy. So it has to be right. And I think this gave something, it was right. It gave people what they wanted. You know, it was a reunion of all the characters, and it was fun. It's lighthearted. Just don't take it too seriously and expect anything more than what it is, and you'll have a good time. But let me shout out to a couple of our regulars. Good to see Tim Windsor back with us. Hey, Tim. And Electric Melanin. Electric Melanin watched the show and put back up that comment Electric Melanin had. And she liked it, and with sexual chocolate. And if you noticed, the theme song for Coming to America was woven throughout it. And then at the end, you were able to see John Legend singing Coming to America. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. But there was something that I missed from it. And you guys tell me what you think. What happened to Lisa's sister and Eric, the bad boyfriend? That was another opportunity, because what I would have thought was funny and cool and a little bit of a zing to today is that Eric then was, you know, his family owned the Soul Glow company, which, you know, was a curl activator product, a Jerry curl product. And I thought it would have been funny if the company switched to weaves, like hair weaving, and she came in with him, and she was stooped over because she had so much weave in her head she couldn't stand up straight. I thought that would have been funny if they did something like that. But I haven't heard what happened to her and what happened to him. I mean, he was a big time actor.
Right.
I mean, he did a lot of stuff. So I was surprised, you know, especially it being Lisa's sister, that she wasn't even mentioned at all. So I don't know what happened there, but
I was wondering about the guy myself. I did notice when they first went to the barbershop, you did see in the background that old faded advertisement for the activator. So I thought that was kind of good. But I was kind of wondering where he is. It wasn't so much the sister, but you're right. That actor, he was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Very talented gentleman.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah.
And so that would have been a neat little piece to to connect. Great to see John Amos. Haven't seen him in anything for some time. Obviously, he had a great recurring role on West Wing. What was it?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been in something recently. He's been in a couple of things recently. So he's kind of making a resurgence now as the elder.
Yeah.
And it was good to see him and who what's his name? The other guy from the McDowell's. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Louis what's his name? He was in Basket.
Armstrong. No, not no. But who is it? Oh, who is he? He would have some stand-up work.
Yeah, Louis. He was like huh? Oh, Louis Anderson.
Oh yeah. Louis Anderson.
Our producer yelled it up from.
Way to go, Gelman. But how about Arsenio Hall's character as, you know, the wise consul kind of guy there with his crazy hair?
Oh yeah, Baba.
Rafiki.
That was awesome. I kept thinking he should put that makeup on and do it serious for the stand, because now that guy looks over 100 years old.
They definitely, because Whoopi looked like she just didn't have a good night in the stand. She was supposed to be 106. And I was like, well.
That dude looked like he was 206. I mean, he was old. With the long dreads. I mean, the makeup was fantastic.
And they said if you have Showtime and you can watch, was it Showtime or maybe either Jesus and Mero or Jimmy Fallon? It might be Jimmy Fallon, and they spent like hours, like 10-12 hours to get in that makeup for the older characters and stuff. So they were like, we're never doing that again. But he's like, yeah, if I could just come back just as regular Akeem, then I wouldn't have any problem. But no, I had to get in that makeup, the old man in the shop, and Baba took like hours and hours. So that was funny to hear. But they were fantastic characters that they brought out. And I'm looking, well, I doubt if there will be another one. Since I don't think he got 30 more years in it to revisit the character. But I don't know about the Lavelle character. I thought he was okay, but I just thought it could have been a different actor. Maybe one that has more chops. I don't know. It could have been funny to see Kevin Hart as its.
Yeah, that was funny. But
can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
Anybody that was on the screen with Wesley Snipes was going to lose, because Wesley Snipes was over the goddamn top. He was the best. He was by far the best thing in that movie. I'm just going to tell you. Every scene he was in, crazy eyes were everywhere, and he was just. I mean,
was he hamming it up too much though?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, okay, you're competing against Eddie Murphy, who hands it up all the time anyway. If you want to feel the theme, you're gonna have to turn up to 11. And that's what he did. It was awesome. But he was, like I said, hands down, he was the best thing in the movie.
Oh,
good. He was good. Pam, I actually think you should probably do it. I'm not just saying this. You should probably take a turn at some screenwriting, because I think your comment about the paternity test, I think a little misdirection there. Since we're giving the movie away, watch it, but it's fine. You'll enjoy it regardless. But the fact that the eldest daughter continued to get the crown because there was some issue at play, it'd have been great if he would have, it could have been like some kind of con thing, and
it was Timmy's baby.
Like it.
That would have been hilarious too. But someday maybe, I don't know. Your lips to God's ears. How about that?
It all starts with a little bit of typing. You never
know. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think that if people, like we say, watch it, don't read the reviews. There's a bunch of haters out there who, just hate on everything. And I think that this is something, and it's rare a lot of times that you get movies that the whole family can watch. This is something that what we used to do. We had family reunions. At some point it got dark and they put the kids in a room and turn on a video and, people would watch it. This is one of those kind of movies that the whole family can watch together. It wasn't hardly any cussing, not like serious, like,
not Eddie Murphy level cussing.
Not
Yes.
Eddie Murphy level cussing. But
there was there was slight inappropriate things with like the personal bathers, that could be and you might have to do some explaining to your kids about what wasn't going on or what was going on, depending on how free you are with the kids. But I mean that and like I said, the thing about the whole movie is that if you were going there looking for a big message, if you're looking for like standout performances and great dramatic turns, this was not your movie. If you were going there for just a fun time, nice 2 hours diversion, and if you liked the original to begin with, it was great. It was good. It was a solid movie. I didn't feel like I got cheated out of 2 hours of my life. So that's
right.
And some movies you get out of them, you're like, God dang, that's 2 hours I'll never get back. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah. And so go watch Coming to America. I give it a solid A-. But it's something to have for the whole family to enjoy. So definitely check it out. And so up next, we're going to talk about, I know it's probably one of David's favorites, which is, we're getting ready. Disney Plus, Marvel is coming out with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And so what we did at PjammaLyfe is decide to watch the Captain America saga to get ready so that we can see the evolution of Falcon and the Winter Soldier throughout the movie. So I know I watched 3 of them. I just can't watch Endgame. So that's a real pivotal one, but everybody knows what happened. And so let's look at some clips from the Captain America saga and maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, we don't have any. So
use your imagination, okay?
Use your imagination. Pew, pew, pew. Shield, shield, shield. Pew, pew. Shield, shield. Nazis. Arr. America, yay. That's the first Captain America. The second so the Captain America saga is about a young boy from Brooklyn who loves his country, decides to sign up finally. He gets drafted into this secret experiment to become a super soldier with the serum. And they give it to him, and he becomes what we now see as Captain America, defender of truth, America, and honesty, and all that good stuff. And his buddy Bucky is been his pal since they were kids, and was his road dog, and joined up. And they fought the Nazis together, including the Red Skull, and who's the evilest research scientist who shares the same powers as Captain America, just an early version. That because he was so evil, the serum then turned him into something evil, and when Captain America got turned into something good. So they fight the Nazis, they win, but poor Bucky falls, which we think is to his death, but we find out he's captured by the evil scientist, Dr. Zemo, and changed.
Dr. Zola.
Dr. Zola, sorry. Dr. Zola. Too many damn Z. It's too many damn Z. And so they change him into super villain, giving him a vibranium arm and turning him into supervillain assassin, the Winter Soldier. And then that becomes the second movie, which is about Captain America trying to defeat the Winter Soldier and a plot by Hydra that's secretly taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. and they're trying to take over the world in hiding. And he has to fight his friend Bucky, but love comes through and he is able to save his friend, introduce him to who he really is, and then Bucky saves him, and then we go into the next movie. Also in that movie, the Falcon is introduced in the Winter Soldier, and he's a pararescue pilot who secretly has these government-issued wings to fly into battles, I guess. And him and Cap become tight bros for life. And then they then go into Civil War, which the evil Dr. Zemo,
correct,
because he was Sokovian, then sets up a plan to destroy the Avengers from within. And he's pretty much successful if you think about it. He's able to rip apart with the help of Wanda Maximoff and Pietro. They're able to tear apart the Avengers from the inside out, and you learn Bucky's misdeeds, and then you're introduced to a bunch of more characters in the Marvel Universe. But love wins again, and Captain America saves his bros, and they roll with him until the end, when Captain America makes the greatest sacrifice for the world, and his friends are now mourning him because he chooses, through some bullshit time travel foolishness, to... That's why I hate time travel. He decides to stay in the past with his love, Peggy Carter, the super agent, and live out his life with his love, and hands over the mantle of the Captain America to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now they're bros for life and gonna fight crime in the upcoming The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. How's that for a description?
D minus. Wow, there's some rough things going on there.
I'm trying to collapse 8 hours of movie into
okay.
It's story time with PjammaLyfe right here on the show.
Yes, yeah, that's what that was. Okay, all three of those movies are pretty vital to where we're going with the new stuff.
Yep.
And as you watch it, it's because Captain America was the glue between these two guys. They were his ride or dies. I mean, he would do anything for Bucky. I mean, he does in the Winter Soldier. You see him, taking bullets and from Bucky because he won't kill him because Bucky took care of him when he was scrawny.
Right.
When he was the scrawny Steve Rogers before he got the super serum.
Yeah.
And then he was taking care of Bucky during, he paid him back a bit, through the whole World War II experience until he lost him. And so that was one of his great failures. And so then then all of a sudden he finds Bucky is alive, but he's been brainwashed. Now he's got to redeem himself and save Bucky no matter what, because Bucky always saved him no matter what when he was getting his butt kicked on the playground or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So you see this tightness, and then also in the Winter Soldier, which is another reason why it's the best movie in the Marvel universe. You see this thing coming together with, him and Sam, the Falcon, because Sam has always looked up to Captain America. He's been basically a role model for everybody in the military since the 40s, and here he is working with this guy, and I got a chance to do something with him. I was out, but I'm back in because you need me. I will be back in. And then, towards the end of that, after, the destruction of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is a huge Marvel Universe thing.
Yeah.
Because after Winter Soldier, you got the destruction of S.H.I.E.L.D., and now you got Sam saying, you know what, I'll go do. I'm going to help you find. I'll help you do whatever you need to do. That's what you need to do. You need to go find Bucky. Let's go find Bucky. You know, when Nick Fury's sitting there saying goodbye to him over the tombstone that says his name with the Ezekiel 25 on it, which is so nice. Yeah, and then you get Civil War, and now you got Captain America riding or dying for Bucky again, because Bucky's been, you know, framed for this horrible thing that, you know, brings in all these characters, you know, and because Civil War's got the introduction of both Spider-Man and Black Panther. Both of those are new characters.
Ant-Man.
No, before that. Ant-Man was already in a movie before that.
Okay.
Chronologically, yes, he was.
Yeah, I think he was introduced in Winter. Was he introduced in Winter Soldier?
No, he's introduced in Ant-Man.
Spider-Man? Wasn't
And
Spider-Man
then-
before?
Spider-Man was introduced in the MCU. The Tom Holland version of Spider-Man was introduced in Civil War. The best one.
I'm not going to argue with you, Obi-Wan Stark. All right. Gotta
I mean,
get
yeah, the Tom Holland version was introduced in Civil War, as was, you know, you got Black Panther coming in. That was his first appearance in the Marvel Universe too.
Right.
So you had a lot of. I mean, these are great movies. You know, I will tell you, the first Avenger was the weakest out of the three for sure.
Watch it
For
now.
sure.
David's gonna have an issue with you on that one.
Well, no, out of the three, I mean, it was a great introduction to Captain America, and it was wonderful to see how he got to where he was. And, you know, and it's interesting to look at the actors. As you know, as we look through these, you look at where Chris Evans, what he looked like in the first Avenger. That dude was cut. He was.
And he was thin. I mean, he was like smaller, not thin, but smaller. His muscles were smaller. By the time
when they bring him out of the capsule, and Sharon Carter's just like, oh yeah, because she's like, yeah, because he's
any heterosexual female is probably like, damn.
Thicker than a bowl of porridge, I'm telling you. You know, so she's like, you know, so, you know, seeing how young he looked, even you know, Captain America, the first Avenger, had some wonderful special effects, because look at how they thinned Chris Evans down to make him look scrawny through all the training sequences, and I mean, that's some good stuff there.
Another actor, and then did CGI on his face.
Yes, well, yeah, they basically face acted him over, you know, this scrawny dude, and you know, I was like, wow, that was really good, because you couldn't tell. It wasn't Jar Jar Binks stuff, you know.
Can I throw something in there? Which is, there is a line that Steve Rogers says throughout the whole MCU, which
I can do this all day.
I can do this all day. And it's fantastic when you go back and look at the movies. And he says that every movie, it's great.
Well, it means something different in every movie too, which is so good, because, you know, when he's fighting himself, even, you know, yeah, I know, I can do this all day. Yeah, I know. You know, they're aware of the joke. They're good with the joke. You know, I you know, all the Captain America movies are probably the best. I mean,
I love them. Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy. I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy was great too, but it was because it was just so out of left field. It wasn't even a big title in the books. You know, it was out there, but no, not a lot of people were reading it. They were reading it like Spider-Man or X-Men or, you know, Captain America or Iron Man. It was a book, and everybody knew it. It kind of intersected every now and then, and then they come out with this great movie. That was a great unexpected treasure. Whereas Captain America, you knew what you were going to get, and they did a good job of giving you what you thought you were going to get.
Yeah, and I liked his evolution too, because in the first one, you know, he's shiny and new and optimistic and really, you know, he understands the mission is this. By the time you get down the road to Endgame and those other ones, you see what the toll has had on him, and that he understands it's not so simple anymore. He has his core values, but you also see that he can now see the complexities of and the toll and the cost that doing this has. And I think that's what made that character just so fantastic. I mean, I didn't like when he became Rogue or whatever they tried to dirty. I was like, I ain't got to do all that. but I did like the arc of his character and his growth. And because if he was just still the same as he was in the first one, then you wouldn't be really could believe in him by the end, why he did what he did. So I just thought that was a great character. And that's why I can't watch Endgame, because I'm mad about them doing him like that. And I just can't watch it without him. Boo hoo.
Well,
Yeah.
oh my God. Oh my God. Let him have his life, because the most moving scene in Winter Soldier is when he's talking to Sharon Carter when she's on the bed and she's got Alzheimer's. Dude, if that doesn't pull at your heartstrings, you're dead. That's all there is to it.
But
I mean, to get it back, yeah, who wouldn't do that? Come on.
But for me though, we talk about his arc, and I think he was. I love him. His movies. I think were the best. I think he's got. It's an amazing character. I love the first one, for a host of reasons. Winter Soldier is great too, but to me, what I see is a guy. He stays when we talk about this evolving. The world changes, or his realization of the world changes, but he stands true to his core values throughout. When he's enlisting before, I mean, never before in the history of the world, get real here, where you had, for any imperfections, you had the good guys, you had the bad guys, and it was clear. The world would be so horribly worse had the bad guys won by 1945. Yeah. He stayed true to what that American value is. Maybe in part because he was frozen for that period of time.
Right.
As American, you had all these different issues. And I don't think there's any question the Cold War and the affluence that America gained as the hegemon during that post-World War II era, it kind of changed. So when you start seeing him, Captain America, talk with Nick Fury and say, this isn't about protecting people, this is fear. He was staying true to what he and his generation had viewed as what this is the American ethos then. And he stayed true to that. He stayed true to it even when the government has its, Patriot Act kind of deal where it's wanting all the superheroes to sign up. He's like, no, that's not America that I know. And he stayed in that regard to me. He stayed the same. He stayed true. And that's just, again,
now, can I challenge you a little bit on that?
Please.
Should he have stayed true? Because in that instant when Secretary Ross, who was, I think, the Hulk's original girlfriend's father, General Ross, that's just a little callback. But that he said, we have these super powered human beings going off to other countries and doing stuff without our permission and messing up stuff for our country and other countries. And people are dying. And so there has to be some kind of at least check-in. But he didn't even want that. And so I was kind of like, well, how would I feel if somebody just went over to another country, did some stuff that was bad, lots of people got murdered or dead, and then I can't do anything about it, but I'm being blamed as a country because these people are living here. So it is a little more, and I get it. He understood there was still a greater evil, right? Like Hydra is a greater evil. And then when the super villains came, that was definitely a greater evil. But I don't think that when I watched it again, I was like, I understand both sides more now.
It's that man who's been this roguish kind of smart aleck who just goes off and does whatever is the one who has moved more to be the company man at this point. And I mean, because there is an aspect you say, well, that was what Captain America, he would follow in line and chain of command. And he sees something different where Tony has gone from being this rogue outsider to feeling a level of responsibility where chain of command matters. And certainly, and obviously, we see with Rhodey at the with the Civil War movie, the injury of it and all. There's that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, your point is good. I think it's a well taken point. There was something, and if I could quote it better, I would. But to me, he just seemed to again the higher truth. He'd already kind of, I think, had seen the weaknesses or shortcomings of leadership before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he said, we can't entrust this to them based on what I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little notebook of all the things that have happened with the
Yeah.
wall up and down and all this. And I think that that's something where I think soldiers, especially as he saw how soldiers were being used, probably was kind of fighting a little bit of that. But
well, yeah, that's what I would say too. That you're right. I mean, this is what he had. He was one that he's probably the only. Maybe Rhodey had some experience in actual combat versus.
Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm.
He did. And of course, Sam had combat experience. He talks about it, but you got to understand. He understood that leaders make mistakes and. Chain of command works to a point, but you got to be able. But wars are never won by a committee. You don't have a committee of people get together and decide what should we do. What if they'd had a committee when the Jatari came through the wormhole at the beginning of the Avengers or the middle of the Avengers? Mm-hmm. Would they had to get a council together to talk about what they're going to do? I mean, we're going to talk about this for like 20 minutes. They're going to go ahead and kill everybody. We should be trying to save people, or should we wait until we get orders? Let's just sit around and wait until we get orders. No, they had to take action, and they understood. And I think Captain America, better than any of them who'd been through so much war, understood that. And he said, look, I see something, and he just said it in I think Civil War. It might have been Civil War. When I see something going wrong, I got to take action. I can't just sit around and wait for it to go worse.
But sometimes you also have to listen too to understand what that fight is about, So I think that, and I think that's the point with Civil War too, is that look how easy someone was able to come in and rip apart the trust and love and respect and team of the Avengers with not that much effort, because there was all these other things going on, trauma, unprocessed grief, blaming because of situations that happen. And I think that that's the same thing when you have these conflicts too, is you have to understand the whole story before just deciding to go in and do something. So it's a really, really well written series, with a lot of nuances that speak to a lot of things going on now. And so I think from what I understand about the new series, and this is all I heard before I was like, no, I don't want to see anymore, is that they're going to be dealing with the aftermath of the blip, kind of similar to WandaVision, and the impact that's had on their, emotions and psyche and what that's going to mean for them going forward. Now, here's a problem that I have because of time travel bull, is because, so Sharon Carter, the niece of Peggy Carter, who becomes who's Captain America's great love. Okay, so in Endgame, Captain America goes back and he's with Peggy. So how then does Sharon Carter come into existence? Because now
she's her niece.
And is that now his daughter? So what's
No,
he back his granddaughter? It's a bull. It's a bull.
Wait a second. Hang on. Sharon Carter was Peggy Carter's niece, not her daughter. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So her sister. So Sharon Carter had a sister you never saw off screen, had a daughter. You still could have Sharon Carter, even if Captain America came back and married Sharon Carter. Sharon Carter's still going to have a sister. She can still have a niece. Is Captain America going to kiss her on the tarmac in Civil War? No, because he's going to be 70 years old then.
Yeah.
So you got this opening up for maybe.
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
For Sam or Bucky to become romantically engaged with her. I don't know, but
maybe the Falcon will. I mean, if I was her, I'd be trying to get.
Sebastian Stan was almost Captain America. Him and Chris Evans were the two finalists for the part, and which is why they put him into the Winter Soldier, because he was so good. I mean, put him as his partner Bucky. I mean, so that time travel still does not negate Sharon Carter's existence. No matter how much you're trying to hate on time travel, looking for anything to make it bad.
It is bad. It's terrible. But that's a discussion for another day.
Welcome to Time Travel Sucks.
That is. Pam does get the title of the show, so I guess that's going to be Time Travel Sucks. Yeah.
That'll be an offshoot of this program. Time Travel Sucks.
I won't be on that one probably because it's got its cheap. I love Doctor Who too, so go on with me there too.
We'll talk about Doctor Who another day. As it is, we're a little bit over on time. But any final words about Captain America or Coming to America, to Get Ready, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming up?
I could do this all day. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm really stoked to see it too. It promises to be a different show than WandaVision, which is good. WandaVision was great, but it'd be nice to get back into what I see is going to be a buddy comedy, odd couple, Felix and Oscar with superpowers and some really cool stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to it.
I think one of the funny scenes in the Captain America was when Falcon was in the front seat and Bucky was in the back.
Yep.
And Bucky
you can see it beginning there.
Can you move your seat up a little bit? No.
Nope. You can see it coming. You can see it coming right there.
It kind of sets us up for, it's going to be some fun, or at least some spurts. And so we'll be ready to watch it with you. So join us next week, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Time changes tonight. Don't forget to change your clock.
Time travel, what?
Oh, so I think of time travel. That's right.
Boo on daylight savings too. Boo. So, have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Woo! And have a libation, hopefully green. If not alcohol, drink some green Kool-Aid or something. And some green tea. But have fun. Take a moment just to remember, so we can all get back. If you can get your vaccine, get your vaccine. Wash your hands, social distance, and wear a mask. And we can all be together here at PjammaLyfe. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, everybody.